All right, welcome to Thinking About Tech. I'm your host, Craig Lawson, and today we're going to jump into Google Hangouts and talk a little bit about that. This is the second time I started recording. I apologize for not having my little picture in the corner, but I found out very quickly that when I join a Google Hangout, that causes ScreenFlow to crash because I'm trying to record two different things, I guess. So, you know, if you're going to screen capture, make sure you don't screen capture with video up when you try to screen capture yourself doing a Google Hangout. There's a little tip, I guess. It was great too. I started off wonderfully, didn't make any mistakes. So we'll see if I can do as well this time. Again, apologize for my raspy voice, but I'm trying to shake a cold here. So just kind of bear with me. Also, I want to just kind of preface this episode with two things. One, hopefully halfway through the episode, I'm going to be able to pause the video for a second. Then I want to invite a guest host, Lucas Gillespie, who is instructional technology for Pender County here in North Carolina, and I want to kind of pick his brain on maybe how to use Google Hangouts in the classroom, as well as maybe some tips and some features of Google Hangout that I might have missed, because I'm definitely a newbie, I guess, at using Google Hangouts, and he is far more experienced at it than I am. So hopefully it'll come. The other thing I want to talk about, I guess, before we get started, was the fact that as of right now, if you have a teacher email through Pender County Schools, it is technically a Google email, but right now it does not have the Google Plus feature, I guess, and I hope I'm saying that the right way. And basically what that means is that when I'm in right now here with my personal email, where it's Google Plus, and it'll say, you know, right here your name and then plus next to it, and the toolbar up here at the top, that won't be there. So because of that, if you're using your teacher, email, you can do some video chat, but it's not got all of the features of Google Hangout. Hopefully in the future, Google Plus will be a part of your work email. But for right now, I suggest to kind of create your own Google email to use when you're doing Hangouts in the classroom for instructional purposes. And I would just kind of make one specifically for that purpose, or specifically for work purposes, because you don't want to be pulling up your email to start a Hangout, and suddenly students can read email or see email up that maybe is private and you don't want them to see. It's also a good idea to kind of prep this beforehand to make sure that there aren't any emails up that maybe are confidential, that you might be discussing a student's grade or something with a coworker or the principal, those types of things. So just, some helpful tips to keep in mind when you're doing this type of stuff. So we'll say, and in the 3D game labs, it talks a little about this as well. We'll say that you've already gone and set up your own Google email that's separate from work. And you've logged in, and you found your name here at the top where it says plus, and when you click on that for the first time, you're going to have to go through some steps, and then they'll ask you to make a little avatar picture, and maybe connect with some friends, and you'll finally get to this page. You'll notice it's very similar to Facebook, has a lot of the same features, and it's kind of Google's answer to Facebook. But one of the great things that they have is Google Hangouts, which is a way to do kind of video chat similar to Skype, but there's a lot of cool things it has that Skype doesn't have. I like this a lot more than Skype, and I think it has a lot more uses for us in the educational field. So right now I think it's where it's at when it comes to doing kind of video conferencing and using that for educational purposes. So how do we get started? Well, you're here in this screen, and you'll notice kind of right away, or while I've been kind of flap my jaws and talking a little bit too much, maybe you kind of looked around the screen and you noticed that Hangouts is right here. So you can start Hangout right over here on the side. You'll see the little Hangout icon that Google's come up with, and you can click Hangout here. You can click Start Hangout. Also, over here to the left under More, there's Hangouts. And so if you click on this, I'm going to go ahead and click on this to show you something else, but if you click this, it'll go straight to you trying to set up a Hangout, which we're going to do in a second. But if you go over here, another nice feature about Hangouts that we talk about a little bit in the 3D Game Labs quest is that you can record your Hangouts, and you can also stream them live. So there are a lot of Hangouts out there that have already been recorded or streamed and aired at some point that might deal with things that are, educational in themselves, and so you might want to find some of those videos and share those. There's also probably stuff that's obviously maybe inappropriate, just like YouTube. You'll notice that there's actually apps to Google Hangouts, and that's kind of listed over here, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But one of the apps is YouTube, so you could also show a video from YouTube in there. Here's a Hangout up here that's got Steven Spielberg. It says premieres the Lincoln trailer and discusses the film with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and fans. So that's pretty awesome. If you're dealing with looking at a film or maybe a book, there may be a talk out there with the author and fans. And some of those great things that bring kind of the world into the classroom that kids normally wouldn't get to experience. So really cool stuff. All right, so again, that's down here, and you click on Hangouts, and it's got this. You can also search for Hangouts on the web and look for it that way. But we're going to right now we're going to start our own Hangout. So I'm going to start one kind of with myself. So bear with me for a sec, because when I first started up, I got to be really careful because there's going to get some feedback from the mic, because I'm going to start up on the computer next to me here. So I'm going to go ahead and click Start Hangout here, which is what you're going to do first, and the screen is going to come up. It may prompt you to install some software right away, and if it does, that's okay. Just go ahead and hit OK if you've never used it before. Then you get this option here to start a Hangout, and you will then also get this screen that pops up where you can pick some of your friends that you're following on Google Plus, or acquaintances, or work colleagues, and you can just click on their picture and start hanging out with them. You can also go here and click here, and you can find your circle. Maybe you've set up a special circle, and Google Plus has these circles where it's basically like you just group people into kind of a folder of like, these are all my friends, and these are all my acquaintances, these are all my work colleagues. So that way, when you're sending things and stuff like that, it kind of keeps things separate, which is pretty cool. You can also just add someone's email. So I'm just going here, and I've got a Thinking About Tech email, so I'm just going to use that to start this conversation here. And there it is right there. I could name the Hangout here. You can also name it when you join. We're just going to say test. And enable Hangouts on air. This is that other feature where you can, if you want, you can make it so that it's a, kind of a live broadcast type thing. We're not going to do that right now, obviously, because we're just testing it out. So I'm going to go ahead and mute my microphone up here, and I'm going to mute the computer to try to prevent this feedback. But I'm just going to click Hangout, and then I'm going to go over to the other computer over this way, and I'm going to accept the Hangout invite, and we might talk about that. Basically, it does just as a little pop-up window and says so-and-so wants to hang out. You can accept or not accept. All right, so just give me a moment here. All right, so I think that kind of prevented it. I've got some huge glare here from the white background. I really need to do something about that. Let me see if I can adjust the camera so there's not so much glare like that. No one wants to see all that. That's bad enough. You got to see me on film. Well, maybe. Let's see a little bit better. Maybe stare at the side of my head. Let me see if I can turn some. As you can see, so we've opened up a Hangout with ourselves, so to speak, I guess, here, and you've got that person down here. You've got the two people that are in the Hangout, their video, and obviously their audio down here at the bottom. Now, if I click on this, it's going to actually take the camera feed coming from the other computer and put that up. And obviously, there's a slight delay, so it's kind of looks weird because my mouth's not moving exactly with the words that I'm saying at the time. But don't worry, that's a good problem because you're really not going to be talking to yourself. Also, up here at the top, you'll see one of the things I used, and I didn't really explain it, but you see two buttons. There's a mute microphone, and there's actually a turn off camera. So, for example, on the other screen here, because it's kind of weird seeing two of me, I'm going to just turn camera off for a second, and you're going to see that that will default to your avatar, I guess, or your picture that you have set up for yourself in Google+. And in this case, I hadn't set up an avatar yet for that Google account, so it's just kind of this generic background. So you can, pause the microphone or the camera, which is always nice, especially if you're recording it or if it's live and you got to step away to use the restroom or get a drink or whatever it might be. So those two features are up there. Again, muting the microphone, muting the camera. You also see these these little dots here light up, and that's basically the volume of your speaking. And it should be kind of in the grain. Every once in a while I'm getting kind of loud, but hopefully that won't transfer over too much to the video. So again, we've got this nice live video chat, and this is kind of similar to Skype. And so now I can sit here and chat with and talk to maybe it's someone that's again like an author of a children's book, and I want to interview or have my students interview them. And we can switch back and forth to the two different feeds and put them up in the center. Over here on the left, we have some other features, and again, this is some of the cool stuff that separates this Hangout feature from like Skype. So one of them is chat, so I can click chat and I can open up a chat window, and I'm going to click chat again on the other screen and also open up a chat window over there, hopefully. And I can actually then type in chat, so I could actually post links if I wanted to. Like, let me just grab a link actually and post it. Sorry, I was moving the monitor so I could see the other screen. So if I wanted to say, we were talking and I wanted to post a link, maybe we were talking to someone about the Hunger Games movie or book, because that's kind of one of the cool things right now that kids are really into. And I wanted to post like, maybe simply just the Wikipedia page that talks about it. So that just came up first on the screen, of course, Wikipedia, right? So I could paste that over in the chat, and then I'm doing this on the other computer, and I could hit enter, and that link comes up. So you can share links this way. You can also type to add questions. This really comes useful if you have more than 2 people in the Google Hangout. Remember, you can add upwards of, you can get 10 people going. Even though I think, and this might be a great question to ask Lucas, but I think that you can only have 4 if you're live streaming it. I could be wrong on that. I'll ask him when he gets on. But I know that, if you're not live streaming, you can get up to 10 people in here. So obviously with 10 people in chat, if everyone's talking over everybody, it's really difficult to have a conversation. So, this is a simple way to maybe ask questions or to kind of pass the mic around. And that's, again, one of the great things about that mute mic feature is that, if someone has the mic, everybody else can mute it, so that we don't accidentally talk over them. So that's the chat feature, and that's, cool and useful. The other thing is screen share. So screen share, basically, this is next button down, allows you to change your video from video to what's on your screen. So I'm going to do that on the other computer here, and I'm actually going to select the wiki page that I linked, and so again, now we can show this wiki page. So this is a great way for you as a teacher or someone that's presenting to actually, you see it's a little bit of kind of lag or whatever. It doesn't move exactly in real time, but it's pretty good. So if you want to show a presentation, or maybe you want to share an article or something along that nature, you can show what's going on in your screen. And again, I'm going to show that on this screen where I'm at to kind of give you that sense of what are the steps you go through and those types of things. So I'm going to click on screen share, and I can click on my desktop. So if I want to just share my straight desktop, or I can usually click on the windows. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this link over here. Excuse me. And I'm going to open that link up. And then I'm going to come back here and click screen share again, so you can see now that top window, which was the link, I can click on that, and then I can say share selected window. And again, that's going to change my picture, which was just the camera of me, to whatever it is that I was looking at. And then the other thing that you can do is Hangout Toolbox. Let's talk about that. So I'm going to click on this again, so it goes back to sharing video. So we got Hangout Toolbox, and this is another feature where it basically just adds different things that you can do. It's kind of, again, a toolbox. It's almost got like a set of little apps, and we talked about that earlier. Kind of like the iOS device, Google Hangouts has its own kind of Google apps that you can use while you're within the Hangout. So one of those, probably my favorite here, is lower third. So if I click on lower third, basically what it's going to do is going to create an image at the bottom of my screen here, and I can put my name, maybe my job title, or how to contact me. So for example, if I want to put like my Twitter handle here, I can do that. I can choose the color that I want. I could choose an image if I want a little image down there, but I'm just going to go ahead and hit on up here at the top and turn it on so you can see it. Now, as you can see, it's backwards on my screen, but it doesn't look that way for anyone else. It just looks like that on my screen. So for everyone else, it's going to be correct, right? It's mirrored on my own screen right here. If I want to undo it, it just rotates the whole image, which is what people see. All right. Let's see some other things here. You can preset it. So if you want to save your presets, you can turn this off again. Up here at the top, we also have some volume control. If I want to adjust volume, people say I'm talking too loud. There's little faces that you can play around with. There's jingles, I guess, are little music things. So if I want to click like applause, you'll hear applause. So that's kind of, I guess, a fun thing. Comment tracker. So here's some things where if I want to put stuff in, if I want to add URLs, search Twitter while I'm in chat, I can do that. Some things that are streamed or to share things. Just kind of a feature that allows you to kind of use those social tools while you're in Hangout. And then obviously, like anything else, when you see this question mark, if there's any questions, it gives you a way to contact people. Lower third's also over here, so I can just click it and go. If I go to it, originally, this is a new feature. See, it directs me to the Hangout toolbox. It used to be kind of on its own, and now it's kind of added in there. So actually, I'm going to just click this and delete that, so it's no longer there. Google Effects. These are, again, those sounds. You can also go to like silly headwear, eyewear. So like, for example, if I want to give myself a monocle to go with my mustache, I'm going to double click it. Click it once. There we go. Now I have a monocle that should follow me around on the screen as I'm doing things. And click it again. So click once for it to come on, and click once for it to go off. I'm so used to double clicking things. So here's facial hair, which I don't need. It's like I could put a handlebar mustache on top of my handlebar mustache. This is just, it's crazy. So those are some fun kind of features. I'm sure kids will get a kick out of those, and it's always great to kind of use those things and kind of play around. Also, there's a randomized feature down here, which will do like a random 3 things. There's also a remove effects button at the bottom, so that's an option. And then obviously there's a feature for view more apps. YouTube, you can click here. Now we can share, and it kind of walks you through here. But you can actually go and add a YouTube video if you want to, use that in your presentation. Also, slide share, which I use a lot if you want to upload, one of your presentations to SlideShare. This kind of feature automatically puts SlideShare in there, so you're not. You can screencast it if you want. You can use your screen share feature, or you can just, it's kind of a quicker way to do that. You've also got to add apps feature, and I haven't messed with a lot of these, but there's some really, really neat things in here. like that might be kind of neat. I'd love to have a way where you have like this is a digital whiteboard with sticky notes, so that might be kind of cool if you were like had a hangout meeting or planning things. That'd be a lot of fun. So something for you to play around with, and definitely share with me and others if you find something cool on here that you use that is coming real handy. All right, so I'm going to undo that and go back to just kind of our normal view here. And that's about it for the most part. I don't want to go into a lot of detail. For a later episode, we might talk a little bit more about the sharing live feed, or that's something we might ask Mr. Gillespie here in a second. But for right now, I'm going to just kind of show you how to hang up. Real quick settings, by the way. You want to come here and adjust your video and sound settings. I skipped over that. In the top right here, we have an exit feature, or Hangouts got a little like you're hanging up the phone. And so when you're ready to leave or quit the session, you can click on that, which we're going to do right now. So I'm going to hit exit, and I'm going to hang up on myself. And I'll do that over here on the other computer. Alright, so that was a short little quick demo. I think it might be a little bit more interesting when we get someone else in the chat, which hopefully we'll do here in a little bit. But I'm gonna pause the video for a moment, take a break, and I'll see you all in a little bit when I get Mr. Lucas Gillespie on. Thank you all very much.